Well, hello everybody, my beautiful abundant healers. I am super excited to be here. We are continuing our 5-part video series on soulful branding and messaging, or soulful brand messaging. And I know I'm a little bit tardy showing up here. I had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we are all good to go now. And so today we're going to be tackling 4 angles to decode your soulful brand story. And that really speaks to your why. And in case you're wondering why I'm all bundled up, it's because it's cold and snowy here in New York City. So you might see me snuggle up a little bit. I've got my space heater here. And of course, I decided to move my desk right next to the window just before a snowstorm. So it's good. Anyway, so we are going to be tackling into this. Now, as a reminder, if you missed our last video, the first video that we are doing in this series, we talked about 8 questions to assess soulful brand messaging. Hi, Suzanne. And you can still check that out on my blog, and I will include a caption to that or a link to that in the caption of this video. So also, just as a general reminder, overall, in this 5-part video series, we're going to be looking at those 8 questions to assess your brand messaging. Today, we're going to be taking a look at 4 angles to help write your own heartfelt about me story. Also, identify your why. After that, we're going to take a look at 3 steps to identify your heartfelt brand mission values and beliefs, which are really important. We're also going to talk about how to cultivate a hook, which is basically your unique thing that's going to help you stand out in your niche. And we're going to talk about how to craft a client avatar that really speaks straight to your client's pain and pleasure points. Okay. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Brianna McWilliam, and I'm an author, educator, art therapist, licensed creative arts therapist, and I've been in the field for about 13 years. And I also happen to be an online entrepreneur. And it is my mission to help other therapists, coaches, and healers scale their practices online without tech overwhelm or having to piecemeal a bunch of different programs together. And I help you do this using an approach, what's called spiritual wealth. So soulful approaches to business. All right. And so at the end of this particular video series, if you would like to stay tuned, you're going to walk away with a brand new About Me story that you can add to your website and clearly spells out your why, lays the foundation for your messaging. You're also going to have that clear and focused mission statement and what I call an elevator pitch for your brand and your services, whatever they may be. You're going to have that powerful hook in what I think of as a truth bomb that's going to position you in your market. You're also going to have a soulful sales script that has your ideal clients reaching for their wallets and just fist pumping the air with a resounding, yes, I want this. That's you. And as a reminder, this is all in promotion of the open enrollment period, which we have right now going on, and the early bird price for the Abundant Healer 90 Days to Scale Your Practice Online, which is the larger course that I offer to help take you through this entire journey from what I call the leaping, landing, and thriving phases of your business. Okay. And it really all starts with soulful brand messaging. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So today, more specifically, we're addressing 4 angles to decode your soulful brand story. And this is really the essence of your why. So clients don't come to you because they think that you understand them. They come to you because they feel understood. And so understanding really comes from empathy, and empathy comes from experience. And your experience will inevitably impact the work that you do and the meaning that you derive from it. And all of that is really what stems from and makes up your story. Okay. And so the more in touch you can be with your feelings, which arise from the answers to your why questions, the more evocative your marketing copy will be, and your voice, okay, the way that you express yourself through your marketing, the tone of your story, right? All of that's going to sing loud and clear to those that you want to reach, and it's going to send away those that you don't. And that's part of the other thing that you need to grasp onto, is that you don't necessarily want to attract everybody and anybody to your business. You want to attract the people you want to work with. And that is a bit of a paradigm shift that when you start to get into soulful brand messaging, you're going to need to embrace, right? Okay. Now, these 2 components are very important. your voice and your story. And they're foundational because sometimes we have a tendency to try to fit in with everybody else in our niche because we think that's going to give us some form of credibility. And I've definitely been guilty of this myself. Okay. And so we are still on some level kind of seeking permission to hang up our store sign. We kind of, look around the digital neighborhood to figure out if we're doing it the right way, or we're looking to see how it should be done because that's how everybody else is doing it. Okay. And so when we do that, the way we talk about ourselves and why we do what we do tends to become kind of watered down and beige, as does your branding. So in essence, you're kind of camouflaging yourself. So the more authentic and true that your voice is to your story, the more authentic and stand out your brand tends to be to what I call your soul clients. And I think of these as clients that are meant to find you because the work that you engage in together actually leads to a sense of mutual spiritual expansion, whatever that looks like. Okay. So today, I really want you to think about and to conjure these questions. Why do you do what you do? Why do you want to serve who it is that you want to serve? What is your personal relationship to the work that you do? Was there ever a turning point in your life where you made the decision that this is what you wanted to do? And how did that inspire you? Okay. And so as you think about and answer these questions for yourself, that's when your story starts to unfold. And your story is foundational to everything and anything else in your practice, including your branding. And I just would say it one more time. Branding's not just about colors and font styles. It's so much more than that. It's foundational. Okay. And so the way you tell your story is also important. The way that you talk about yourself, your tone of voice, and the images that you use. Okay. So do you like a casual voice versus a more formal voice? Do you like it when someone feels like they are more on the level, or do you like going to experts? Okay. So you want to think about what style of voice also appeals to you and why it appeals to you. And so the more authentic and true that voice is to your story, the more you're going to stand out. Okay. Now, next, oftentimes there's a missing link in this marketing process or in the plan for your business. And that is the story angle that you are adopting. Okay. So how interesting are you? Why would someone want to tune into watching a movie about you or a TV show about you? And you might be thinking, well, I'm not that interesting. But there is something special about you. There's something unique to you that you bring to what you do that nobody else has. And in addition to that, the secret is really in your delivery. So there are ways to share your backstory that make it compelling. It's true, and it shoots straight to your potential clients' hearts. Okay. So with these 4 story angles that I'm going to share with you today, I'll also recommend a book to you. It's called .com Secrets by Russell Brunson, who really tapped into how to promote yourself online and build an online platform successfully. And he offers a lot of different story angles that can help structure your About Me marketing copy. Okay. Now, in this video, I'm going to share 4 of them because I feel that these are perhaps the most relevant to the needs of therapists, coaches, and healers. But if this is something that you think is kind of fun, which I think is fun because it's basically storytelling, I would recommend his book because it's a good one. So the first angle we're going to take a look at is loss and redemption. So I had everything. I was on top of the world. Everything was going great. But then something happened. I had to figure my way out of whatever that thing was, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because I went through some kind of transformative process and I learned and or received some kind of insight, knowledge, gift, tool, method. And now I am what is in that place. And typically it's a place that would represent a symbol of transformation or some major benefit for the people you're trying to serve. And so loss and redemption stories like this are really powerful because they show the upside of going through hardship and meeting challenges. But the trick is revealing just enough so that you make connection with your ideal client without revealing so much that you are overly exposed and or it could be perceived as inappropriate or triggering. Okay, you don't want to turn your audience into, you don't want to make them feel like they're voyeurs into your life, but you want to share just enough so that your story takes on kind of an archetypal tone, and that archetypal tone is that of loss and redemption. Okay, so for example, the About Me story on my website is a leader character with a loss and redemption story. And in the Abundant Healer program, 90 Days to Scale Your Practice Online, we talk a lot more about the different kinds of characters you can assume in your story, but we're just focusing on story angle today. Now, a second story angle that you can take is before and after. This is a pretty commonly understood one. So first I was this, then I tried that, now I'm this, right? And so these are stories of transformation, and they're very simple and easy to write. So for example, I was lonely and hooked on online dating sites. I realized I needed to address blockages in my root chakra and explore my style of attachment. I discovered how creative psychospiritual approaches in therapy could help ground me in my body and feel more secure in romantic relationships. And now I'm in a healthy long-term partnership, and I'm so happy and fulfilled. I just had to bring it into my therapeutic and healing work and share it with my clients. Okay. That's one paragraph about me story. One thing I would add is you don't have to write a novel. Now, when you do write your about story for the first time, it may end up being a novel because you will be identifying what I think of as your mission moments. But when it comes to the overarching story, that evolves as you start to cull down the essence, the theme of what it is you want to share. And that's really what these angles are, is taking a look at what the theme of your story may be. Okay, so this next one, the third angle, is amazing story. Oh my gosh, you guys, wait till you hear about this amazing new thing I discovered. You are not going to believe it. I wasn't sure it was going to work at first, but it is awesome. You have to try it. Okay, so that's like an amazing discovery story. And those stories are really useful for selling things like webinars or short-term workshops in which you want your audience to see that the answer that they've been searching for is finally available. And it's really useful for anyone that has a specialty or something that they can deliver in a measured amount of time. So for example, if you have some kind of training that's unique and marketable, like EFT, emotional freedom technique, or EMDR, or soul collage, for these art therapists out there, or the Mari assessment, or somatic experiencing, or music therapy, or shamanism, or doll making, or Zumba, or yoga therapy, you know, that there's a method or some kind of tool and technique or something that you have that very clearly concretizes what it is that something that you are delivering. Even if it's an experience that you're delivering, there's a way to create boundaries around it. Then you may have an amazing discovery story to share. Okay. Now, the fourth and final angle that we're going to talk about is called the third person testimonial. So this is really more where you start to share other people's successes with your approach or your amazing discovery or your programs. And the purpose of it is to extract powerful social proof. So this is when you get as many third person testimonials from your clients and or students that you can, or what we call beta testers. So they could be friends or friends of friends that are willing to sample your content so that they can give you some feedback to assist in your marketing and also to assist in the refinement of what it is that you are delivering, right? And so you can kind of sprinkle these third-party stories throughout your marketing. You might also use them as standalone stories or case studies. Actually, research shows that when you want to raise money, that funders tend to respond more to one quintessential case study. So we talk about the client avatar. We're going to come back to this actually in one of our other videos. But they respond more to one story than they do to multiple stories. Okay. But one thing I would add about using third-person testimonial story angle is I wouldn't replace your core story or your core about me story with it. Because your potential clients need to, as I said before, and they want to feel that you understand them. Not only that you know them or that you have all of the right training and certifications. I'm sure we've all had this experience. You may go to the best doctor that could be recommended, but then they have zero bedside manner, and you'd rather go to another doctor that you can feel safe with, right? So that's something to think about. So one of the things I would like you to comment below and let me know is which of these 4 story angles sound like a good fit for you, for your brand, your soulful brand mission. So I'll go over those again. That's a loss and redemption story. So I had everything, I was on top of the world, things were great, then something bad happened. I had to figure my way out of it, but it turns out it was a blessing in disguise because I went through this and I learned that. And so now I can, whatever that is. It's a loss or redemption story. Second one is the before and after. First I was this, then I was that, now I'm this, right? Third one is amazing discovery. Oh my gosh, you guys, wait till you hear about this amazing thing I discovered. You're not going to believe it. I didn't think it was going to work, but it's awesome. Now you got to try it. Okay. And the last one, again, third person testimonial, where you are collecting stories from other people. But again, I recommend that you actually combine this with one of the others, because you don't want to, or at least that you are aware of what your story is, because that is going to be the foundation of how these testimonials apply and everything else in your soulful brand messaging. Okay. So I would love it here in the comments below if you could identify which of these angles you feel the most connected with and why. And also, if you want feedback from me, you can also tag me at Brianna McWilliam. If you want to post some sample stories here in the feed, I would love to see them and give you some feedback on that. And as a reminder, you definitely want to make sure that you stay tuned, because our next video post is going to address how to identify your brand mission, values, and beliefs, which are so crucial and fundamental. So I'm just going to address some of the, we've got some, we have Janine. Hello, Janine, and Suzanne here. Elevator pitch going up. Yep. Yes. Janine and Suzanne, you guys are fabulous. Actually, Janine and Suzanne are inside the Abundant Healer program, and it's really exciting because I just revamped all our content. I don't know if I shared this yet in the mastermind, but you now have access to a whole new script for that. Suzanne relates with amazing discovery. Yes, and that fits really well with what you're doing in your programs with the angels and the doll making. And then Janine says, my story is a loss and redemption. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Yes. Thank you guys for showing up and putting some comments in the feed. And just as a reminder, lastly, if you are interested in learning more about how I apply these practices and generate things like passive income online or developing group coaching programs online to scale your practice, you can check out my program, The Abundant Healer 90 Days to Scale Your Practice Online. It is a program that includes the exact steps that I took to start bringing in up to 10K per month in online revenue as a therapist, healer, and coach. And it's also a one-stop shop that's intended to take you from through the leaping, landing, and thriving phases of your business. Even if you have no experience in marketing or online technologies, you've never written a single lesson or done anything, a course curriculum online, and that's all without having to spend a bunch of time, energy, and effort on piecemealing a bunch of different programs together. All right. And so this program is really intended to help you attract clients, cash flow, influence that you want without having to use salesy gimmicks. And in fact, while really stepping into your spiritual and soulful sovereignty, because the whole process of this program is really much more than just making money. It's about stepping into your power and really doing what it is that you feel on fire about doing and bringing you into alignment with that in a way that feels like you're moving through the world in a way that's very self-directed. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. And as a reminder, we're going to be popping in here and doing another one next Tuesday at the same time. I'm also going to be popping in here probably around Thursday around the same time, just to speak a little bit more to abundant mindset, because I know that was something else individuals were wondering about in the group. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.